school year, so it did get attached to this. I'm going to motion to approve the prior minutes.
Motion to approve. I second.
All right. Motion passes. Any conversation, any questions? We're sitting in a discussion, and then it passes. All right. Basically, the main purpose is to welcome our new facilities director, and to hear her report, and basically see how we can be helpful to support her work this school year. So take it over.
Well, it has been,
Do you mind introducing yourself just to everybody?
Oh,
and like
yeah.
saying maybe
okay,
when
my
you
name
started.
is Aviva Lake, or Aviva Lee, on that. Wally. I have been a facility director for the International School of Louisiana for 17 years. Recently, I just transferred over here during the summers.
Is that like a coach?
So I do have some experience in facilities, managing 3 facility campus sites. I thought I would have an easier time at the high school. Oops, I jinxed myself. So it has been, this facility is facing a lot of challenges. It's a good sturdy building, but it has been neglected for so long. I have gathered that for the last 6 years or so, about 5 different facilities or charters have used this building as a swing space. And because it's the swing space, they don't maintain or take care of it as well. So there's a lot of issues and problems, and you would have seen it if you, the financials. We have a lot of expenses that has to be repaired, that it maintains. We did good, I was able to negotiate something with NOLA Publics to do some of the repair, but not all, because we have been here theoretically 9 to 10 months. So they're not gonna do that much more on that. Buildings, so according to this report, you can see that, hey, we have done some of the completed project, the fire alarm panels. That thing was installed in 2002 or so. It's very old, it needs to be updated and upgraded. They finally agreed to do that, and it's gonna be on NOLA Public docket. I'm still waiting for them to finish completing the work on that. We have, due to the new laws and regulations, we have to custom build 5 boxes of cell phone storage. This is what we have. You can't buy that things anywhere. So we created our own and have the student doing the mural on that. And it's become an art project on that. Now, one of the majors, the next thing is that the air conditioning repair. They have a total of 45 units in this building, individual units on that. We have repaired, make everything up and running except for 1. So 44 is fixed, done. 1 is left and have to order additional parts. Every time we touch it, we need to do something else. So we're waiting for the parts. It's expected to come in October. Now, all of these units here on the first floor was installed in 1998, way past its life expectancy. There are units above here, and and the one that next door was installed in 2002. They're all old, and I'm fighting with NOLA Public and requesting documents and asking them to replace all of these, because we are holding everything with duct tape and super glue. They're just so much sometimes that you can only repair, you know, and after that, it's a lot cheaper.
Right.
So we are in the we're in a talking conversations phase right now with that. But at least everything is up and running, and there's AC in classrooms. When I came in, it was hot. It was hot. None of these units have enough Freon, and those things are not cheap, they're expensive. So the cost was high. Some of the current, you know, so those are some of the major things that you will see reflected on the financials. That's completed. The current project we have is the emergency exit plans. Okay, so each room has a map. I'm sorry, maybe I can get that there.
I can see
That's
it.
Yeah. I redesigned them, each and every room, so that you would have a red dot that tell you, you're here. Before, it would just a color code. It's hard, difficult to find. So that's what we have right now, and we'll make sure that, hey, we have flags identified by room numbers, not by the teacher's name, because teachers cannot be correctly reflected. Sometimes they move from room to room, but the students remain, they know which room. So in case we need to exit out, they can follow the room numbers on that. So we have that plan in place. Just need to execute that things. We have the intercom, issue with the intercoms. Some room has access to the intercom, some don't. And what we find out is that, hey, some of the things here is so old, it's rusted through. So I made purchases with some of the intercoms, and then we need to reset the intercom per se, is that the system does not recognize lettering. For example, this room's here is 102. But the built-out room here is 102B. They don't recognize, you know, numerical and lettering. So we have to reset some of the rooms on that. Anything that has a letter behind, we have to recognize it and reset it to maybe 1021, 1022, or something like that.
This
So
would
that
be
would
like 0.5?
There's no point. No point, no dot on the phone dial on that. So those are just some of the things that we found out on that, and we need to retrace whoever hooked up these things here. It's so convoluted that we don't understand the system that they're doing, because some room you can call out, some room you can only hear, and that does not help us. So that's one of my current job, to retracing it and fix that things and make sure that it's functioning properly. Then, of course, we have Hurricane Francine's coming through, and it's also brought up some major issues. One is that the exterior of the buildings, could you put up some of the exterior of the buildings, is very bad. Yeah, we have some cracks all over, it's among the windows. Nobody have maintained anything on that. So we literally have water intrusions in. Depending on, at first, I thought it was just among the buildings. I fixed up some classrooms, but then when scenes go through, I have, about 10 rooms with considerable numbers of waters, intrusion, puddles of waters left, that we have to come in and clean up on that. And right now, it doesn't matter what I do on the inside, the outside has to be fixed, because there's no flashing, there's cracks in the windows. So you need to repair the outside and waterproofing the outside because of the type of textures of the buildings. Waterproofing this whole buildings here gonna cost anywhere from maybe 80 to maybe 120K.
Do you know if, Nola Public Schools is filing a FEMA PA for Francine? You don't think they got any damage?
No, they don't, I don't think they have it, because, right now, for the types of things, these things here would be considered pre-existing for maintenance. You know, they're not gonna pay for that. They will pay for, hey, if you have flooded.
Sure, just.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So this is something that, hey, I have to have a long conversations with them, see how much they're willing to do, or if they're gonna do anything at all. And it's a long conversations, because I don't have enough documentations. For example, I need to find the building assessment that they have, that they pass out theoretically in 2019, 2018, that give the assessment of every single building. That's what I had on the building when I took care of ISL.
Right.
So far they haven't sent me anything yet. So I have to continuously nudging them,
Right.
but I don't want to be too hard.
Right. I remember that report from the
Yeah.
other, from the right away building.
Yeah, so once I have that bill, you know, that report, I can better talk to them. Hey, what can you guys do? Because even this systems right here that you see, sprinkler system, the head is very old. Our fire alarm panel is so old that I couldn't even find a replacement smoke detectors. I had to go on eBay to find it. And once we found it, it cost me $600 just to replace one single smoke detector. So I have to come up with them, and I cried to them and said, listen, I don't have that kind of budget. You have over 109 smoke detectors. I cannot afford $600 to spend on a single one, and all of these things here need to be replaced. So I have everything off for them to replace the panel. Once they upgrade the panel, then I can go and get an upgrade smoke detector that can link up to the system. And presumably it would be a lot cheaper, maybe $50 a smoke detectors. On that, that's a huge price difference. You know, it's with the Hurricane Francine's going through, so we see a lot more things happening. With the water intrusion now, we also see the interiors of the buildings. You have termite damages. Termite damages, we have it in 6 rooms, 2 floors, and 4 rooms with flooring problems. These things here, we can do it in-house. It just takes time. I only have a staff, including myself. as, 6 people, 2 maintenance, myself, and 3 custodians. Since I've been here, we have been running full flat out, but, in order for me to save some money, we have to hold this thing in-house. But just the woods alone, right now, is very expensive. You just can't imagine, the cost of woods has risen so much. The same old 5 simple cell phone boxes, I'm not counting the labor, just for the material alone, costing the school $1,300.
Wow.
So everything is high up, so we need to find some money, get something done. On the other hand, in here, everything that I see we touch breaks. It's just like I said, it's because when they move in and they move out, nobody cares. So now that we are here permanently, we are trying to fix everything. And I'm trying to prioritize the most urgent things that we have to do. We have 21 toilets installed, and we have to replace 9 toilets. Pick it up, seating, and fix it, and replace them already. And we're gonna have to replace all the flush valve. All these things are commercial items. They are not cheap. And just the good thing is that we have a staff that knows what they're doing. So we've been able to get things done on that. Same things, kitchens equipment. We have 2 double-deckers ovens. It's playing tag with me. I came in July, all 4 was working. Come August, as soon as the food's coming in, slowly, one by one, they broke down. At one time, we were down to only 1 oven. Right now, we currently have 2 ovens. We have 1 blown motor. We found out what's the problem. 1 blown motor, fan motor in the oven. The parts alone cost $980. And then there's another oven that we think that the spark plugs wire may need to be replaced. But trying to coordinate it in between functions and other emergencies that we have, it has been a struggle. I have been able to go and reach out to NOLA Public, and they have given me a used but working double-decker. Now I have to wait for the delivery company to bring it in, because that thing's weigh over 400 pounds. It's solid metal on that. At least now I have 1 in reserve, because at that one time when we were down to only 1 oven, I said, I can't, there's no way you're going to be able to feed even half of the students. So, and at least right now, the food is good. So I want to make sure that we have the equipment to feed the kids. Actually, teachers and staff actually go and, eat with the students, We have a refrigerator, a double-side refrigerator that was never worked since we've been here. The motor, everything is shot. So it's cost more to repair than to replace it. To replace it costs about $13–15K, not counting the delivery charge because it fluctuates. We have a walk-in cooler that was working has never worked since we've been here. And the replacement parts cost almost $8,000, not counting labels. And it's not something that I can say, oh, I don't need this, I'm just gonna tear it down and take it out. Right now, for me to find replacement parts for that, it's cheaper than go and purchase an actual freezer and walk-in cooler on that, because those things are assembled inside. There's no door that they're gonna fit out, so I have to disassemble it.
Can I ask you a quick question on that?
Uh-huh.
Do you have to go through the school's vendors to get replacement parts, or can you use your own vendors?
No, what I use is that is the original vendor. Now, we do have some state vendors that I could use that has a better pricing, but not always link up to this type of machines.
Right.
So, you know, and I don't just use one. I am very much cost conscious.
Right, yeah.
And I'm trying to find the cheapest or the most economical way possible.
Yeah.
But sometimes when it gets so bad, you have no choice,
Yeah, but
you know, taking the risk on that.
I'm only asking because we run senior living facilities and we have commercial grade kitchens too. And we've had a lot of luck with a vendor out of Hattiesburg that gets us commercial grade kitchen equipment for a lot cheaper than we can find with New Orleans and other local vendors. So
Yeah, I'm limited to what they have pre-existing.
Okay, so
Unless we want to replace it brand new.
okay.
Right now, I'm not doing brand new. Right now, I'm just trying to find a part that fix what's broken.
Right.
Because most of these, for example, the ovens, they're commercial, so they would last a long, long time. But you have to maintain it.
Yes. Yeah.
And you should not let the quote unquote, the maintenance company snuggle you in on unnecessary expenses.
Exactly.
Because I look at some of the previous bills that you guys have paid, and I was just blown apart. I said, does anybody check with them? Why are these things like this? Why is this so high? You know, I see the same thing happening over and over. For me, my part, my way of doing things is that, technician, you don't come in until I call you. And if you come in, you need to be able to explain to me clearly what's wrong. And I do follow with them, so that, hey, I may not be the one that's doing the repair, but I can understand the process. And I can check up on some of the parts, because I always ask for the broken parts, so that I know you are not,
Yes, I'm doing
yeah, you're not doing double dipping. Yeah, because with facilities, anytime you touch commercial, it's never simple and easy. It's never cheap, for lack of better words. So those are some of the current projects that I'm working at right now.
Somebody, huh?
If there's a freezer that hasn't been working since we've been here, wouldn't that be the New Orleans School Board issue? Or is that just a waste of breath?
It would be a waste of breath. I thought about that, but because had we had some documentations put forth when we were here, move in within, let's say, 2 months, 3 months, it would be easier for me to talk to them. Since I don't have any documentations. You've been here 9 months, a year.
You could have broken anytime.
Correct. And that would fall back on us on that. Yeah, so, I mean, for facilities, we are, as of right now, we have in quite a bit of overtime. That was necessary, but I'm also very conscious of the time that my two maintenance men are put in, because certain repair you can't do while students are here. And the limited time that we have from the time the student leave until the close of the buildings, maybe only 3 hours, 4 hours. And that's not enough time for them to do the repair or do the whatever they need to do. You know, so it's, my budget will be overrun.
In other words, they come in there, you're on the weekends working.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to limit them as much as possible, but sometimes we have to come in, working both days, so we've been putting in some long, long hours on that. And, you know, like exhaust fan. You got restrooms, 6 restroom area in this building, 2 on each floor. None of the exhaust fan was working. So we have to slowly replace each one of them. And they cannot, because they are guys, they can't just go into the woman's restroom and just take it out. And even if they go to the boys' restrooms or men's restrooms, take it out, it can't be done while students are there because of the ladder of the tools. So we also have to keep the safety consciousness of that. Some kids have a very quick hands.
Thank you, Ms. Levine.
Yeah, so, we have had our building inspections for today. Luckily, he's been good for us, light-handed. So, we will expect to see the report. We may have about 80, 90 infractions that we may have to correct. That's doable, and we'll just go from there.
Wow, well, you stepped into a lot. Obviously, there are financial needs that have to happen in a serious way for the building. Is there anything we as a committee can do to support you? Besides writing a check for hundreds of thousands of dollars?
I mean, I'm familiar with all these work.
Mhm.
I'm only asked for understandings that, hey, it does take time to get all these things done and accomplished.
Yeah.
In between what we have during the normal course of the day. And I can only promise you that I will do my best to get all these things done. And, if you guys can do some fundraisings any which way, that would be greatly appreciated on that, or else this thing will take a long while.
Yeah. And you were talking maybe about spinning off the development committee, but that's a conversation for another time. And I know that fundraising or putting money that is raised towards facilities is less glamorous. You know, there are so many needs in the school, but we do have to keep it in mind, otherwise
Yeah,
it's malfunctioning.
yeah. That's why air conditioning repair was like
Yeah,
on
number
top of my
one,
list.
of course.
Because when I came in, it was so hot, it's unbearable.
Mhm.
So at least now they can feel a little bit more comfortable, more conducive for teaching.
Actually, it says too cold.
Oh, wow. Bring us winter.
That's what we say. Bring a sweater. And we actually all wear sweaters.
Yeah, so, you know, there's some things that you guys can see visibly, like
Right.
our front entrance, like the door that when I first came in and new doors that glass
That's
door
great.
that we have. Waiting on them to do the marquee and, letterings on that. I have had a chance, but it's coming up on that.
For all your hard work.
Yeah, well, welcome to the team and
Yeah.
thank you for sitting. I think that concludes our meeting. Sober meeting, a lot for us to think about, a lot of work to be done. Anybody have any comment? No? All right, can I make a motion to adjourn?
Like, next meeting
Yep.
day?
Oh, next meeting, I have it on the agenda and everything.
You do,
I do, look at me.
but it should follow, finance, which is December what?
This is fourth.
Fourth of the fourth.
Well, this is December 4th, so you want me to just change the date?
Yes.
Okay. Is that okay with everybody?
What time? Still 6:30?
Yes.
Because we don't wanna be here around Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I've always said before.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Did you get all the really fast-moving motions?
I did.
Did you get it? You sure? You don't need us to? Yeah, I see you.
All right, who voted first?
Uh,